Have you ever looked at a beautifully patterned wallpaper and wondered where it all began? Today, we're diving into the world of a man who revolutionized how we think about our homes, William Morris. He wasn't just a designer, he was a poet, an artist, a philosopher, and a socialist who believed that beautiful, handcrafted objects should be accessible to everyone, not just the wealthy elite. Born in 1834, Morris grew up surrounded by the beauty of the English countryside, which would become a lifelong inspiration. He went to Oxford University, initially planning to become a clergyman. But there he met a group of like-minded friends, including the painter Edward Burne-Jones. Together, they were captivated by the medieval world, its art, its architecture, and its ideals of craftsmanship. They were disillusioned with the Industrial Revolution, which they saw as churning out ugly, soulless, mass-produced goods. They longed for a return to a time when things were made with care, skill, and a personal touch. This passion led Morris away from the church and towards art. He tried painting, but it was his first home that truly set him on his path. In 1859, he married Jane Burden, and they commissioned the architect Philip Webb to build their dream house, the Red House. When it came to decorating the interior, Morris couldn't find anything on the market that met his standards. Everything was either gaudy and over-the-top or just plain shoddy. So what did he do? He decided to design and make everything himself with the help of his friends. They painted murals, designed stained glass, embroidered hangings, and built furniture. The Red House became a living, breathing manifesto of their artistic beliefs, a total work of art. This collaborative experience was a lightbulb moment. In 1861, Morris and his friends founded a decorative arts firm, Morris, Marshall, Faulkner & Co. Their mission was simple but radical, to bring art into every home. They offered a whole range of services, from stained glass and furniture to metalwork, and of course the wallpapers and textiles that would make Morris a household name. Let's talk about those iconic patterns. Morris looked to nature for his inspiration. Think winding vines, delicate flowers, swooping birds, and playful animals. He wasn't just copying nature, he was stylizing it, turning it into intricate, repeating patterns that felt both organic and ordered. His first wallpaper, Trellis, designed in 1864, was inspired by the rose trellis in his garden at the Red House. It's a classic example of his style, a structured, almost architectural grid softened by the natural forms of roses and birds. Another famous one is Strawberry Thief, created in 1883. This design tells a story. Morris was frustrated by the thrushes that kept stealing strawberries from his garden at his home, Kelmscott Manor. Instead of getting angry, he turned that frustration into one of his most beloved and complex patterns. It features those cheeky birds, ripe strawberries, and a dense tapestry of leaves and flowers. This pattern wasn't just beautiful, it was a technical masterpiece. It required a painstaking and expensive printing method called indigo discharge block printing, which involved multiple steps and layers of dye to achieve its rich, vibrant colors. This commitment to quality was at the heart of everything Morris did. He revived old, forgotten craft techniques that the Industrial Revolution had tried to erase. He insisted on using natural dyes and the finest materials. He learned the arts of weaving, dyeing, and printing himself, so he understood the process from start to finish. For Morris, the process of making was just as important as the final product. He believed that the joy and dignity of the craftsman were embedded in the object itself. This philosophy is the core of the arts and crafts movement, of which Morris was the leading figure. The movement was a direct rebellion against the factory system. It championed hand craftsmanship, the use of natural materials, and simple, honest design. It wasn't just about aesthetics, it was a social and moral crusade. Morris argued that a society that produced ugly, poorly made goods was a society that devalued human labor and the human spirit. He envisioned a world where workers took pride in their skills and where everyone could be surrounded by beauty in their daily lives. But here's the irony. Because Morris insisted on such high-quality materials and labor-intensive traditional methods, his products were expensive. They were far beyond the reach of the ordinary working people he hoped to serve. His clients were mostly wealthy, progressive bohemians who could afford his vision. This was a source of great personal conflict for Morris throughout his life. He was a committed socialist who dreamed of art for the people. Yet he was, as he once famously said, ministering to the swinish luxury of the rich. Despite this contradiction, his influence was immense and far-reaching. The arts and crafts movement spread from Britain to America and across Europe, inspiring generations of designers and architects, including figures like Frank Lloyd Wright. Morris's ideas laid the groundwork for modern design principles, particularly the idea that form and function should be united, and that everyday objects deserve the same artistic attention as a painting or a sculpture. He challenged the very definition of art and elevated the status of the decorative arts. So, what is the legacy of William Morris today? Why do his designs still feel so fresh and relevant over a century later? I think it's because they tap into a deep human longing for authenticity, for connection to nature, and for objects that have a story to tell. In our own age of fast fashion, disposable goods, and digital overload, Morris's call for slowness, craftsmanship, and meaningful beauty resonates more strongly than ever. His patterns are timeless. You see them on everything from luxury wallpapers and fabrics to mugs, phone cases, and tote bags. They bring a touch of nature and history into our modern homes. William Morris was more than just a designer of pretty patterns. He was a visionary who believed that the environment we create for ourselves has a profound impact on our well-being. He taught us that a home should be a sanctuary, filled with things that are not only useful, but also beautiful and made with love. He challenged us to think about where our things come from, how they are made, and the kind of world we want to live in. And that's a message that will never go out of style. Next time you see one of those iconic floral prints, I hope you'll see more than just a pattern. You'll see the story of a passionate artist, a radical thinker, and a man who dedicated his life to fighting ugliness in all its forms, trying to make the world a more beautiful place, one wallpaper roll at a time. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into design history, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more stories behind the art that shapes our world. See you next time.